Welcome back to Switch Center. I'm Burge,
I'm Quinn.
and let's get right into the news. Nintendo just released their quarterly earnings report for December to March of this year, and an absence of a particular title could be the reason why the company is pushing for cheaper games. Alright, so we'll have it on the screen right now, but this is the PowerPoint that they created to show their investors their financial results explanatory material.
And
So
you read through this?
Riveting
You
stuff.
nerd.
Well, you'll see that it's a lot of pretty pictures, so it wasn't too hard. We're going to skip a good amount of this information because right now we're focusing on their first-party title sales. So as you can see, Mario Kart World is doing great, almost at 15 million, which makes sense because
Because it comes with the console.
most of the time, no hate to those who didn't get the bundle, but what's wrong with you? Kind of crazy how well Pokemon always sells.
And I think it's funny that it's specifically the Switch 1 version.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 version did all right, but it makes sense that the Switch 2 version on its own didn't outsell Donkey Kong. But it is so weird seeing the breakdown. I assume these are the top 4 games.
Yes. Donkey Kong, it's actually doing better than I was expecting.
Nice.
There's a lot of these Mario adjacent franchises that sell like a cool 2 million, but it's nice because that's such a fun game. I just 100%ed it this past weekend, but it definitely deserves those sales. Notably, there is one game missing from their list. They only put games that sell over 1 million copies in this PowerPoint, and there's no Mario Tennis, which is really weird. Any game that has Mario on the front of it usually sells at least 1 million.
Personal anecdote. I'm a huge Mario Tennis fan. Have been since the 64. Played the GameCube. I love the DS game because I could just 100% it and have it be a fun little game. I did not buy this game. It's a repeat of the last 3 versions, and that's really unfortunate. So as sad as it is, I'm not surprised that it didn't sell well. But it's crazy that it's just straight up not on the report.
Yeah, I was actually interested in this title myself. I didn't play Aces back in the day, but I ran into the same problem I ran into with Aces. The fact that it's such an expensive game. Nintendo was boasting about these variable pricing price points just to justify selling Mario Kart at $80, it seems, because they weren't going any lower than 70. So it's like, the variable prices are 70 or 80.
We were saying, man, this new Yoshi game is coming out. Is this going to be an $80 game? There's no way they're selling this for $80.
Yep. That kind of failure on Nintendo is my fan theory of why now we're seeing a lot more affordable games, because they realize, their AAA titles, Zelda, Mario, I think those are still going to be 70, 80. Yeah. But they realize that some of these AA games, they can't justify the price tag,
Even if it has Mario in the title.
Exactly. So many people have been talking about how greedy Nintendo is. Anything Nintendo related, you're always going to see the comments, people talking about how Nintendo are awful, Nintendo are greedy because of their prices. We're not an actual news channel. We don't get into economics or the state of the world, but let's just say people can't be spending $80 on a whim on a fun little tennis game.
And I think it's interesting. We'll see how this takes them in the future. I don't think it's going to be an overnight change, but at the end of the day, fans cried out, Nintendo heard, and did adjust accordingly.
Yes.
So might get them some favor, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's still, a little iffy.
Because, with the Star Fox game that's coming out, that's now 50. The Splatoon game that's coming out, that's now 50. If you get them digitally, which honestly, I think that's a great choice. Just collectors will still pay the extra $10 to get their physical cartridge, and Nintendo can get away with selling them for less by just putting them on the eShop.
And I think that's the key wording. Nintendo can get away with it. There's going to be fans who are mad about the $70 pricing, but hey, it works out for a lot of us. A lot of us buy digital. A lot of us are just increasing the storage. So I don't know. It's a tough spot, but at least something's changing.
Yep. And, we might not be where we want to be. Some of these games, I think, are probably closer to being worth 40, but I think this is a step in the right direction, and we'll see next quarterly earnings report if Star Fox and Splatoon made their way into the million list.
I won't be reading it, but you will, nerd.
I'll let you know. Welcome to Binging with Burge and Quinn. Today we're going to be trying some Yoshi eggs.
There's some lore to this. This is how the Mario Galaxy movie was originally leaked. So thank you so much, Pillsbury, for your donations.
All right, we're gonna pop this open.
Oh my.
Look at all these wonderful Yoshis. We do not want to wait for these to bake, but lucky, it's safe to eat raw.
This is the Yoshi egg. It's actually crazy to me that they have a product that's Mario that you can eat that's not Campbell's tomato soup. As a kid, I would have freaked out to see a Yoshi egg in my oven.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers. Swish. It's like it's a
I
cookie.
don't like that they filmed me eating that. That felt intimate.
I'll censor you.
You're already on your third. I had one.
Keep up, kid.
What do you think the flavors are?
You know how in Mario Sunshine, how each of the Yoshis want a specific fruit? Mm-hmm. I think there is no fruit. This is pure sugar. It's beautiful. Now, be honest with me. How would you rate these Yoshi eggs?
You know, much like the Mario movie, I think I'd rate it 5 out of 10.
I think what I would rate it is my rating of the Mario movie, which is 5 out of 10 unless you spent your entire childhood obsessing about Mario. Because then it's a 10 out of 10.
Let's get back to the episode.
Okay, now.
Okay, we did this in post. I was looking at this. I was like, wait a second. Each one of these is an entire cookie.
If you forget, they're so small.
So we just ate like 20 cookies in one sitting. That's insane.
Not in one sitting, like in 30 seconds.
Okay, so this is in post. Quinn, every time you put a cookie in our mouth, count how many calories we were eating. Cheers.
Swish.
You're already on your third.
It's pure sugar.
Oh, yeah.
4 doesn't.
Yeah.
Because that's a 10 out of 10.
We looked at the quarterly earnings report of January to March that Nintendo showed their shareholders. And one game that was notably missing was Metroid. Very unfortunate. I don't know. Were you expecting to see it on the list this time around?
I think it should be on the list. This is a game that people have been talking about and fan bases have been freaking out about for literal years. They announced it so long ago. And I mean, when you look at some of the top selling games of all times and favorite games of all time, Super Metroid is always there. And Metroid Prime is also pretty high up there too.
That being said, have you bought the game?
Hell no.
However, one game that did show up on the quarterly earnings report, I never would have guessed would outsell Metroid. Tomodachi Life. I thought this game was going to be a flop.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a crazy name that is kind of hard to pronounce. It's just kind of like a soap opera. Like, you're not even playing a game.
I think when you think about it, it really went off because everyone wanted to share their creations. This is the TikTok game. And so people are sharing about it. People are talking about it. And there were negative remarks about it. People thought that there were a lot of reused assets. But, like, it was getting the name out there. And people were so excited to share what they had made.
I think people initially were pretty upset about the fact that you couldn't share your creations online. But that was so trumped by the fact that people were sharing these hilarious situations that would happen in the game.
Tomodachi Life was everywhere on the internet. And in the same way, Metroid Prime 4 was everywhere on the internet when it first came out. Obviously not to the same extent, but there was a lot of hate coming out about the game.
I honestly would say they kind of had the reverse public opinion on the internet, where Metroid Prime 4 was announced, everyone lost their minds and was so excited. Then once the gameplay started coming out, people latched on pretty hard to one Miles McKenzie, a nerdy engineer that said corny lines. And that was the main thing everyone heard about the game.
I think the other thing, as someone who didn't play the game, the other thing I heard was, oh, you have to buy an amiibo to listen to the soundtrack while you ride the bike. That was all I got.
Yeah.
And
it's weird how the game had such a negative view in the public opinion. And, you know, a lot of people could argue, well, the general public just doesn't care about Metroidvanias like they used to. They want those more, like, quick, fast-paced games.
Y'all
but the
see,
biggest
y'all see
game
Hollow
of the
Knight?
year,
Y'all see Silk
the
Song?
biggest game of the year, the biggest
You're right.
indie game of the year was Silk Song, and it sold so well. Meanwhile, Tomodachi Life, that game, it came out and everyone was like, I think I kind of remember that on the 3DS. But suddenly, once everyone was posting the funny creations they made and the silly situations with like random pop culture characters, everyone had to get their hands on it. Even my wife, who doesn't really care about video games at all,
True.
it's like we sit down and we play Tamagotchi Life once a night and we get the new clothes and we see who's in love. And I think...
Isn't that beautiful?
I know, that's marriage for you guys.
I think part of it too was they released that little demo. People really got to test their creation abilities and see what you could do. And it got everyone posting, because if you couldn't share your stuff in game, you're going to share it online. And it caught on fire.
So I think what Nintendo really needs to learn from this situation is the power of social media. They're kind of a backwards company in a lot of regards. Everyone knows the story of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where people would share all the cutscenes that happened on that game online, and Sakurai, the creator of the game, got so upset by that he didn't have a story mode in any games that he made in the future.
And we were lucky to get a couple cutscenes for Ultimate and the character reveals. But yeah, he was like, no, they're just going to share it on the internet. And it's like, yeah.
I think Nintendo just really needs to learn from this lesson. The lesson that they've been refusing to learn for the past decade. That they need to work with the court of online opinion. They need to work with creators, because it really sells their games. When the game that they're putting out has so much negative PR, not just from online personalities, but just the everyman. Once the court of public opinion makes up their mind on a game, it's hard to change it.
But to be fair, a lot of the publicity that Tomodachi Life got was because of the ridiculous and many times situations that arose that wouldn't be very Nintendo approved, if we could say. But they let the game be in a way that you could do whatever you want.
You could say and that's crazy for Nintendo.
And it doesn't fall in line with the image that they're trying to sell, but man, did it work.
It really did.
Now, is that a unique thing? Is it because it's Nintendo specifically that it's like, oh my gosh, my me is saying or like, if they keep doing this, will it not be as exciting? If someone released Tomodachi Life as an indie game, would it have blown up as much as it does?
That is fair. There's other reasons. I think people have a lot of nostalgia for the Wii era and do kind of miss the Miis as characters. And on the other hand, to be fair with Metroid Prime 4, I was telling you, Quinn, that when I first got my Switch 2, I got Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Metroid Prime 4. I 100%ed Donkey Kong Bonanza. I got 3 stars in the Knockout Tours and the Grand Prix in Mario Kart World. And I have beaten 1 level in Metroid Prime 4.
Not a gamer.
So it's not just about the goofy voice lines in the game, which are really easy to ignore. There's a lot of problems. It's not as engaging. And Tamagotchi Life, it's silly, it's fun, and you can play it with non-gamers. And I think that's... that cozy game market is really popular. So while there are other reasons, I do think one of the biggest, though, is the amount of traction that it got online. TikTok is the future. You got to sell your soul to the TikTok gods. Everyone, thank you for watching. If you really like this video, make sure to show your grandma specifically. She's been asking about us.
Oh, see, I took that as send us a picture of your grandma. Show your grandma. You're saying link her the video, and
Guys,
I think that would be good.
If you like this video, show grandma in the comments. Send us a link to her, please.
You can.
Bye.
You can. Bye.
Hit the bell.
Hi, grandma.
Hi, grandma.